Things just took a sickening turn, and following what has been a crazy offseason of reports surrounding Dalton Knecht and his future in LA, a brand new report has dropped following Summer League that has fans not only fired up, but is sickening. We're going to break down exactly what that is and discuss what it means going forward, as it has major implications on Rob Pelinka and his trade plans over the next few weeks as the regular season inches closer and closer. But not only that, we have some interesting other Lakers updates to go over today. You're going to want to stay tuned till the very, very, very end of the video. But before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. You guys have been absolute beasts with the support, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. You guys have been absolutely fantastic as we're on the road now to the big goal, 25,000 subscribers, and the bigger goal of 30,000. Folks, a lot to go over today, and obviously, I'm going to dive right into it. Now, a new report has dropped from Jovan Buha that is not exactly what you want to hear. And of course, the Lakers' current team, we're going to dive into that, but they plugged a lot of holes, and they didn't have to do so via a Dalton Knecht trade. They haven't managed to get buyout scenarios with, DeAndre Ayton. They signed Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart, a buyout, and then signed him. And a new report revealed that Dalton Knecht's trade value has taken a massive hit. Knecht now knows the Lakers don't have a vested interest in his future. Of course, this is referring to the Mark Williams trade that got rescinded, all these different things. And we know last year he actually fell out of JJ Redick's rotation. But according to Lakers insider Jovan Buha, Knecht has almost no trade value right now. Here's the full quote. Summer League has not helped Knecht's stock, and I don't think at this point he is valued as a first-round pick in terms of an asset valuation. That was what I heard in Vegas from talking to multiple people, non-Lakers people, just gauging what would you give up for Dalton Knecht, or if the Lakers are putting Dalton Knecht in a trade, what is he worth? And the feedback I got was no longer worth a first-round valuation. This is sickening, right? And I'm not going to overreact too much here, and I think there is a world, because of how thin the Lakers' bench is, that he actually plays a valuable role next season for this team as that bench shooter, the bench scorer. They got Jake LaRavia for that, so he might take a step behind him. But to go from where he was with Mark Williams, which you could assume was a first-round pick valuation, they basically, at the time, as we all know, and vastly covered, Mark Williams for Dalton Knecht, 2031 first, unprotected, and the 2030 Lakers swap. That was the deal that was on the table. So basically, 2 first-round picks and a swap. And since then, the Lakers tried to make subsequent moves at the deadline, didn't happen. And we heard, and heading into the offseason after the Lakers got eliminated by the T-Wolves, we were thinking that they were going to trade Dalton Knecht, that 2031 first, for a guy like, Nick Claxton was on the table, a lot of other players. Ultimately, that didn't happen. And as a result, you are now stuck with Dalton Knecht, who hasn't, at least based on what we saw in Summer League. And again, this is an extremely small sample size, and that's the biggest thing to take out of this too, is like, he had a few bad Summer League games, right? He had a decent Summer League game, and then the rest were pretty bad. For his standards, getting outplayed by some of the G League guys and, some other things, it makes things interesting. But at this point, it's probably best for the Lakers to keep him. You can see this here. If the right deal doesn't come and won't come, just keep him. I don't care what other teams see. His offensive bag is elite, and he's on a rookie contract. I'm not trading Knecht just to trade Knecht. He can help this Lakers team. And I want you guys to leave in the comment section what your thoughts are on the Knecht, because there's been a lot of scenarios thrown out there, and I still think the most likely trade scenario here would be a Wiggins-type deal where he goes to the Heat, right, or a team like that. But the problem now is you're going to have to give up even more assets if you want to go out and get a point of attack defender or whoever else you want to give up, because we know, they got Marcus Smart. That's obviously a big, big addition. But you look at that bench now, they have Gabe Vincent, Marcus Smart, Bronny James is probably going to play some minutes, Dalton Knecht, and Jake LaRavia. Everyone else, of course, Jackson Hayes and Jared Vanderbilt. Jackson Hayes is going to get some good run, but Jared Vanderbilt, he's been in the gym a lot apparently. How is he going to play? It's going to be intriguing, because if Dalton Knecht falls out of the rotation early in the year, his value is going to continue to plummet, because the Lakers are trying to win, right? And that's obvious. They didn't add another wing defender. They got Marcus Smart, who I guess is a wing defender, but beyond Marcus Smart, of course. They didn't get a guy like Andrew Wiggins or someone like that. They still could. But when it comes to trade value, to see where he once was valued, you think back to the Summer League of last year, and you think when they drafted Knecht, and he had a great first, handful of games with the Lakers, first, quarter of the season, half of the season, even last year. Then it kind of fell off a cliff a little bit, and, I don't blame him necessarily, getting traded away to Charlotte and then, of course, coming back and getting it rescinded. It's a difficult thing to do. But you look at his stats last year, he still finished with 9 points a game, shooting 37% from three. But his issues stemmed last year, at least, and the reason he was out of the rotation is not just his three-point shooting, which tailed off a little bit, still above average. His defense was really bad. He wasn't hustling on defense. He benefited a little bit once Luka came from fast break points and things like that. But he's slow on his feet, and he's not supposed to be a defender, but there was too many incompetent defenders, basically, on the Lakers last year. And not incompetent in necessarily a horrible way. Like, Luka Doncic wasn't great defensively, dealing with injuries to the hamstring probably. Reaves, not a great defender. Vanderbilt, fantastic defender. Couldn't really play him because of his lack of shooting. And then, of course, you have some other guys. But now that the Lakers have a bit of a new mentality here, I would like them to move off of Connect, but I agree. Like, you can't just get rid of him if he's worth a second round pick. You used the first round pick on him last year, and I think he has enough potential to where he very important word, a valuable piece next year going forward, because the bench is pretty thin. And I think at this point, you either keep him or he's going to be a part of a wing trade, for example, an Andrew Wiggins trade. But regardless, it's a sickening turn based on where he was. And of course, this is a bit of an overreaction based off of, summer league games. But Joe Von Buha is pretty tapped in. And he's basically saying other executives, don't think he's worth a ton, because it's not just the summer league games. We saw it in the second half of last year. He fell out of the rotation, didn't play in the playoffs, was really bad down the stretch, basically since Luka came over. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Do you want to keep him, or would you prefer to trade him? Of course, you would like to get him as a part of a bigger package, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. A few other things I want to dive into. A couple bench players here. So Jake LaRavia actually spoke out on the signing of Marcus Smart, and there's a few other updates to go over here. Pretty exciting stuff. He said he got a resume. Everyone knows what he brings to the table. He's a dog. He brings energy, makes unselfish plays, and he's a very vocal leader. The more I look at this team, the more I'm excited about the Marcus Smart signing, because I would like to see him factor into the starting lineup, whether that's getting rid of Reaves and moving him to the bench or moving Rui Hachimura to the bench. And Rui has a specific skill set, fits great alongside Luka. Reaves arguably has he has a fantastic skill set, of course, but arguably, fits well alongside Luka. We've kind of yet to see that. I would love to see, again, it sounds like a broken record here, Doncic, Smart, LeBron, Rui, Ayton. That's my ideal five. You have a great bench guy off the bench in Austin Reaves, who's used to playing off of the bench. Would he be happy with that following his year? Who knows? But at the end of the day, getting him and Jake LaRavia, you have a bit of a, Smart and LaRavia. I think Jake LaRavia is going to be fantastic, and I think that Marcus Smart's going to be fantastic, and they're both going to be really, really good. And I'm really happy with the Marcus Smart signing, especially given everything that happened with people calling out Rob Pelinka for lack of moves. He hasn't had to give up any assets, and maybe he's waiting for 2027. Maybe he's waiting for the following offseason. But at the end of the day, they got the job done. But speaking of bench players, Jordan Goodwin today got picked up by the Phoenix Suns, and we kind of knew that Jordan Goodwin was going to get picked up in clean order here, in fast order. He is a very, very solid player, and ultimately he was just a part of the casualty of getting Marcus Smart. You waive Shake Milton, you waive Jordan Goodwin, you open up the biannual exception. You had to do it. They couldn't find a trade for some of their expirings, which I'm still hoping, I have faith they're going to do. But as it pertains to Jordan Goodwin, the Lakers, $25K comes off the books for the Lakers, basically. So he has a $2.3 million contract with $25K guaranteed. The remainder is fully protected, if not waived by January 7th. Good value claim with no risk. $25K comes off the books for the Lakers. So a little bit of money saved. But at the end of the day, he's going to be a rotation player. Trevor Lane basically said that he wouldn't be surprised if he finds a home elsewhere. At the end of the day, Jordan Goodwin had a good run with the Lakers. Glad to see him get a shot with the Phoenix Suns. An interesting team over there with KD now traded. But folks, let me know down below what your thoughts are on all this. Sickening turn, especially from where things once were. But at the end of the day, the Lakers are a great team. They've been beasting Luka Doncic. You guys are fantastic for watching. Thank you guys. Cheers.